My mother lives on human blood and has done for 2 centuries.
Byzantium is a curious little film about vampires, but I'm not sure I would call it a horror film. Directed by the same person who made Interview with a Vampire, Neil Jordan, it was well received upon its first release, but seems to have faded into obscurity since.
The script was absolutely intriguing, but it wasn't quite a vampire story, it wasn't quite a horror movie.
Actually, the word vampire is conspicuous by its absence in the film. The word used in the movie is succreant, which is rather nice. Gemma Arterton and Saoirse Ronan star. They are Clara and Eleanor, 2 mysterious women seeking refuge in a run-down seaside town, specifically in an old hotel called Byzantium.
I used to work in Hastings, where this film was largely shot. That building, which they made up to look like the hotel, is actually residential. It's right next to the True Crime Museum if you want to take a look. And it's funny, I'm sure this is true of many movies, but if you know the area, it's impossible to watch this film without saying, what way are you walking? But Hastings is a good choice of setting, as it is a typically British location and it's not seen on screen very often. And to many people, it's kind of boring. You wouldn't be living life like a rock star like in Queen of the Damned. And though James King said that it is a run-down seaside town, the production actually did it up for certain scenes.
And I was a bit worried at first because I thought, before I had read the script, I thought it's another vampire film. It was right in the midst of all the Twilight madness and everything. And I wasn't sure if being part of that kind of trend was a good thing. But then I read it and I saw that really I don't really think of it as a vampire film at all.
It is a vampire film, but it deals with the real world problems of vampirism, namely living forever and bloodlust. But it's not a classic vampire horror film with the capes, castles and coffins. If you were to watch this film with the sound down, for the most part it would look like a social realist film.
Essentially Byzantium is quite an urban story with these period flashbacks. Essentially it's making sure that the period flashbacks don't feel like they're from a different film. So, because our contemporary stuff is quite bleak and pared down and quite urban and decaying, we had to make sure that our period stuff was as well. So it's not lush, grandiose environments, it's actually pared down, quite stark, depressing interiors, and it was just getting that balance between the two.
There are some flashback scenes that give it a hint of a Gothic feel, and reminding the audience just how old these characters are.
If it was going to be about succreants or bloodthirsty immortals, it needed to be told in a different way, whether that be visually or through the story. And with this, it was kind of both.
The screenplay was written by Moira Buffini, based on her own stage play titled Vampire Story.
The play was so theatrical. I thought, is it possible? Can it be turned into a film? It had all sorts of theatrical conventions that were very, very uncinematic. But actually, just talking more and more to Stephen about it, I thought, yeah, the story, actually, the essential story is so strong, this will make it a good film. It took quite a long time to get the scripts in a really decent state. And then Stephen showed it to Neil, and we sort of went on from there, really.
Though Gemma Arterton is actually only 8 years older than Saoirse Ronan in real life, their characters are as old as the hills in the movie, and they play mother and daughter vampires, and that is this film's USP.
It felt like a very personal project for me, this mother-daughter relationship thing. It was, something I really could relate to, so that's really what it was that drew me in. That relationship.
It is a film that is perhaps more interesting than hugely exciting. There are a lot of themes bubbling under the surface. I mean, we heard a lot of them mentioned by Gemma Arterton, so social issues and feminist issues. It doesn't entirely get to grips with all of them, and I was a little bit lost from the beginning because there doesn't seem to be a huge sense of place in the film. Exactly where this is meant to be set is hard to fathom. Now, it's actually, a lot of it was filmed in Hastings. I mean, if you watch the end credits, it tells you that. But it is meant to be a sort of generic English seaside town, slightly haunting seaside town. And it feels more fake than believable. So it was quite hard work from the start. And a lot of it is very bleak and miserable. Saoirse Ronan is fabulous at being bleak and miserable and surly, but that doesn't make an exactly gripping film.
As I said before, this isn't your typical horror film, and if you go in expecting suspense scenes and jump scares, then you will leave sorely disappointed. I would actually compare it more to Abel Ferrara's vampire film The Addiction, which treats bloodlust like a drug dependency, and that film, like this one, relies much more on mood and atmosphere.
by utilising the sort of existing light, the natural light that exists on each of the locations, and a lot of it is location based. There's very little of it is studio based. Just sort of going in whilst surveying the locations, looking at what the light really was, how it felt, and then using that as a touchstone to lead me in the direction of lighting each individual scene. So, we use a lot of light coming in through windows, a lot of light from practicals, so that it's not a stylized lighting. It's something that you would expect to see in those locations. It's maybe slightly heightened in places, but ostensibly is naturalistic.
Visually, the film is quite lovely, and the acting, as you would expect from Saoirse Ronan and Gemma Arterton, is very strong.
Thankfully, there are a lot of very likeable actors in there. So we know about Gemma Arterton and Saoirse Ronan, but also Sam Riley, Tom Hollander, Daniel Mays. It certainly couldn't be accused of glamorising the undead. It is about the burden of immortality rather than the fun side. It's not the Lost Boys, I can tell you that. But a little bit more fun, I think, wouldn't have gone amiss.
Its tone is serious and adult, and personally I find that to be a good thing, as cinema over recent years is aimed more and more at kids, even horror films and things they're technically not able to watch. So I found this film really refreshing, and I'm shocked to see that it has been largely forgotten today, as it is a top quality film.
This is my favourite genre, that mix of reality and fantasy, and I mean this is perfect for my sensibility, like a dirty, crappy seaside town with magic creatures stuck into the cliff. I'd also like to make a love story sometimes, but I should never ever be that big comedies.
If you've seen this film, do let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button and you will be alerted when the next one comes out. I try to publish weekly. I'm making a movie myself at the moment, and if you would like to donate towards that project, you can send one-time donations via this site, and thanks in advance. I'm Scott Kingsnorth, and I'm making a movie.